Payday 3 has been out for over 4 months, and the game is, unfortunately, all but dead. Sparse updates, overpriced DLC, and the lack of communication from the devs have left most players wondering just what the heck is happening. Now, in the middle of February of 2024, the devs released Operation Medic Bag, a new post of promises where the devs discuss their plans on important changes that are going to be added to the game. Is this plan going to save the game, or is it already too late? Because let's be real here, while these are all positive proposals in here, there are also things that the players have been asking for since the game has been released, over 4 months ago. So today, I'm going to take you through the important bits from this post, and at the end, I'll offer some other viewpoints that I think should be considered. So here's a fancy graphic that they've made showing off all the important bits of the new post. If you're not bothered to look at all the details, then it's actually more than enough just to look at this since the details are pretty sparse. One thing to note is that there is no time frame for most of these additions. The main ones we have a vague timeline for is this one right here, the initial focus improvements. This is where the devs have said that this is a list of goals that they would like to have finished by the summer of 2024. Now let's take a look at the rest of the post. This here is a little intro on what the devs wanted to focus on. Optimization and reliability, teamwork and co-op, replayability and progression, and fantasy and heisting. This is all very vague terms, but they do go a little bit more in depth as you go down. First up on Operation Medic Bag is solo mode and offline mode. It's finally being addressed in an official statement. So the important point to note is that it will be coming out in 2 phases. Phase 1 will still require an online connection. So I assume that this means that they'll release an actual solo mode function, but you just don't have to matchmake into an invite-only game and then just not invite anyone. Phase 2 will be where there's the actual solo offline mode without requiring an internet connection. Of course, this is great news, but from the way everything is worded, it seems like this is far off into the future, and it won't be likely that we'll be seeing this anytime soon. Still, great news for people like me that do solo stealth and don't want to deal with network lag anymore. Stability, matchmaking, and server browser says that there's going to be social and co-op features to be added right here, but not what they are. So if you actually check out the bottom, it does say that some of the stuff they have in mind are, let's see right here, play again feature and merge players into party post-match feature. These are just the social features. Of course, there's more here, but we're just isolating those. Additionally, there's also going to be a quick play function. And later in the year, there's also going to be a CrimeNet style server browser. Now, personally, I don't really care much about the CrimeNet style itself. For me, it was the functionality of it. I can select based on location and ping. I can choose stealth or loud modifiers. I can set my AI on or off, stuff like that. These are the important things of the server browser, not having CrimeNet itself. And I hope the devs realize which is the important part of it. Challenge-based progression. It's done, guys. It's gone. Good riddance. Thank the Lord. Challenges will be removed. Just gone. Straight up gone from the game. They're switching to infamy progression. They're going back to heist payout values. Bags will have an effect on EXP once again, and they're just gonna make the challenges give cosmetic rewards. Praise be. I do wonder what this means for people like me that, have a lot of those challenges done. That aren't just, play Dirty Ice 120 times. No, we did the other ones. As of right now, I myself am still locked out of some of the achievements because I have the challenge for it done and it never unlocked on Steam. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully they do a good job. UI revamp, a more intuitive UI and better heisting theme, apparently. No details other than a simplified friends menu, so who knows what this means. But overall, the menus for this game have been pretty bad. They were clearly intended for use with a controller, but even then, it's not very good. So I hope that there are big changes in here, but the lack of detail that they go into leaves me a little bit skeptical. New content. So I think most people aren't going to like what I'm going to say here, but this is what it says. They're going to do the last 3 planned DLC for 2024. And as for free stuff, there's a free heist and a free LMG primary, as long as the usual stuff, skill lines, cosmetic rewards, and rewards. My bad. So yeah, that doesn't sound that great to me. The original 4 planned DLC was supposed to last 1 full year. So if Payday 3 came out in September of 2023, I think it's safe to assume that the last DLC of the planned roadmap should come out in September 2024 at the latest. So that means up until about then, the only free stuff that they can promise is 1 heist and 1 gun? That's not really good. I mean, Payday 2 in its first year, this is roughly a year right here, in its first year of DLC had basically all of this. Diamond Store was a free heist. Safe House Nightmare was a free heist. Go Bank, free heist. Let's see what else is there. Election Day, free heist. And Shadow Raid, free heist. These were all free, and quite a few of them were amazing heists as well. So far, Payday 3 only has 2 old heists from Payday 2 and syntax error. And this is only just looking at the heist. There's a lot of other things here from Payday 2 within that first year. So this part of Operation Medic Bag doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence, and I'm afraid it feels like the devs are still mostly focused on that paid DLC like they have been. But I don't know, we'll have to see, I guess. DLC pricing. It's just 1 sentence, and they know that we're not happy with the pricing, and it'll be looked at for future DLC. Again, not something that instills a whole lot of confidence because it leaves a lot of questions. What about people like me who already paid for the game and the DLCs? Do we get something in return? I'd also argue that, it's more than just the pricing that's bad about the monetization, it's the predatory aspects as well. But I have another video that I'd like to cover this in, so I'll refrain for now. The in-game store. Oof, they still want to release microtransactions. Well, they're pushing it back to 2025, but this almost feels like a threat saying, we haven't forgot, we just know you guys aren't happy right now, so we'll wait till later to do it. Unreal Engine 5. Again, not much here, just saying that they're putting it on the back burner while there are other problems to fix. Which is fair, but in general, I don't get the point. Payday 3 is not a very pretty game, and even on Unreal Engine 4, it's not optimized very well. It feels more like a marketing ploy to get people interested because there's so few Unreal Engine 5 games out there. It's not the engine that matters, it's how the devs utilize the one they have. Plenty of games can be pretty and optimized and not have to use the latest greatest Unreal Engine 5. And finally, the initial focus. As mentioned earlier, these are a list of the more concrete goals, and the devs want to finish these by summer of 2024. So the short list of them are Quick Play version 1, loadout renaming, recurring smaller content drops, controller improvements, vote kick, rotating stealth modifiers, unready button, play again feature, merge players into party post-match, daily activities with rewards, mask vendor with weekly rotating inventory, and communication wheel improvements version 1. I'm not gonna lie, it really hurts to see just how many of these additions are basic features that you'd find in any game. Vote kick, unreadying, quick play. I mean, yeah, it's nice that they're finally addressing it, but it really makes Payday 3 feel like it's been in a beta for the past 5 months. And recently I picked up Helldivers 2 and, that game has that social aspect done way better. It's brand new and it already has all of those features like being with your party after your operations are done, and quick playing for a certain difficulty. I'm also not really sure what's up with this, the mask vendor with a weekly FOMO. Why advertise that you're adding that? I don't know, who cares, Dailies might be nice, it'll get people to play the game more, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not really sure what this entitles though. Rotating stealth modifiers, that could be interesting. Stealth right now has a bit of a problem. In fact, most of the game has a problem with replayability, so hopefully this could be something interesting, but I'm not going to get my hopes up too high. What do you guys think about it? There's definitely a lot of nice proposed changes, I mean, it's not like it's hard to add the things we want. We haven't exactly been quiet about the things missing from the game. But without any details, it remains to be seen just how these will actually affect the game, at least for a few of them. And I'm not partnered with Starbreeze, so I'm not privy to any inside info or details. I think now, what's more important about Operation Medic Bag is that it needs to become a priority if it wants to become taken seriously. It's not like I've been documenting every time the devs have mentioned that they're working on fixing the game, but I think most Payday fans can agree that we were always under the impression that the devs were already working on stuff like this. When the post about our plans going forward came out, and they threw us a curveball by saying, "Oh, we realize the game is pretty bad, go post on our forum and we'll get a strike team to work on the changes." Like, wow, wait a minute, they weren't already working on any of those things? What were they working on? Just DLC? So right now, for Operation Medic Bag, I think I deserve to view this with a little bit of skepticism. A roadmap is nice and all, but we as fans have been burned more than once, and for a multitude of reasons. I'll believe we're getting these changes when they actually drop updates. Unless the next few blog posts they come out with have some crazy specific details and some dates for when they're expected to drop. And just a brief bit of inquiry for those that are still left watching this dead channel. Do you guys think it's too late? We're 4.5, almost 5 months out since the release of Payday 3, and with very few meaningful changes that have been added to the game. Most players are tired of waiting and have moved on. Are they still willing to come back, or have they just moved on for good? The devs have lost a lot of trust over the past few months, and even now, we're not exactly sure if they still have the game's best interests in mind. There are a lot of promises here, but still, no action has been taken. And to me, I also see a bigger problem. Yes, quality of life is one of the things I keep saying needs to be in the game, and it needs to be a priority. But I also believe the problem with Payday 3 is that, at its core, it faces a lot more inherent problems than can be fixed with just quality of life. The heists, they're not fun, and they lack replayability. The skill system, all being contingent on grit, edge, and rush, is boring, and build crafting is almost non-existent. Weapon crafting and weapon modding feels extremely meaningless. There were changes to the core gameplay that are poorly thought out, like the new armor system and the overkill weapon kill streak. And some things were outright removed or no longer exist. There is no melee system to speak of, since there are no melee skills, there's no melee weapons, and melee damage was removed from the weapon butt. Don't know why. Dominating enemies being locked behind a skill and making it so that guards on the map give up randomly is downright unsatisfying and makes no sense from a gameplay perspective. Even if the progression system is magically perfect after the changes, and even if pricing goes back to being transparent and fair, unfortunately, I think that won't be enough to bring people back to the game. But hey, that's just one washed-up YouTuber's take on it. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are more than happy to receive this news, and if nothing else, I admire their optimism. All I'm saying is that we can't forget all the months that led up to this announcement. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, guys. So, thanks for anyone that's still checking out these videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Got a juicy one for you.